Robert passed away soon after Will was born. I've lived alone since then. It felt tolerable being by myself, until that new distance. It's a terrible thing, to feel detached from your own family. I know I'm from a different generation with different values, but I don't think they're all wrong. I wasn't prepared to accept that Will wasn't going to talk to me anymore. His views, I felt he was putting his future at risk. All these free ideas about people choosing their own way to live, he would understand later. But how much later? But before he changed, what damage would he do to his options? I was nervous about that Christmas. We hadn't been close for a while. Doing Christmas by yourself takes a lot of work, but I like to keep busy. Will went off to university, but I clearly remember the Christmas that he and the family came home. It's important to keep in touch with your friends. We didn't have the internet back then. I wish people still wrote letters. I'd been told that Will was going to bring a girlfriend, Sarah. It was important to make a good impression. My family arrived just as the Christmas lunch was ready. It was perfect timing. I hadn't seen Will since he left. I wanted him to understand I wanted the best for him. I always wanted that, no matter if he disagreed with me. It was lovely meeting Sarah. She was a little shy, I think. She said a little about what she was studying and how happy she was with it all. She made a very good impression. James is like my husband Robert. Kind at heart, but I wish he would apply himself. When Sharon took Will to America, he was only 10. Like most boys, he wasn't much of a letter writer. She took him away from us for 3 years, and I barely saw him. Will was growing up to be such a fine man. He had such fine manners.
Thanks.
I felt so proud of Will. He was becoming the man I had hoped he would be. Sarah seemed like such a lovely match for him. He would have a happy, normal life. But that was the last time I saw her. The next summer, I went to visit Will at university. I always like to arrive on time. It's just polite. So I had left plenty of time for the drive down to see him. I arrived early and decided to have a look at the campus. It was my first time there and the buildings looked lovely. There were so many young people there, all full of life and excited about the future. Lots of beautiful girls around, and I was hoping I might spot Sarah. University wasn't a normal option for people in my time, and I never went. A solid education helps to improve a person. I noticed Will from a distance. I've always thought he stood out in a crowd. At first, I couldn't see what he was doing. Then I saw that he was holding hands with a man. And then they kissed right there, out in the open. I couldn't believe it. I knew that his views would get him in trouble. After all I had tried to teach him, he went and did that. I left right away. What was I supposed to say to him then? Will hadn't seen me. I simply had no idea how I could be expected to act like everything would be okay for him. He was so young. He didn't see the trouble he could get into if he kept doing that sort of thing. The university suddenly seemed like a place full of smug, self-satisfied people. Ugly. It was full of children, running around abusing the freedom that my generation worked hard to earn for them. After everything I had done for him, he was doing that, putting himself in danger. I felt so angry with him and with everyone there. That sort of thing. It all just feels wrong to me. Sorry, but that's just the way I feel about this. I barely saw Will for the next few years. I couldn't bring myself to talk to him. It was silly of me, I suppose. After university, he went travelling, seeing the world. I stayed at my house. Being alone in a house by yourself. I said my husband Robert died when Will was young, didn't I? Being alone can make you live in the past. You watch the world change without you. I had such hopes for Will, and all the things that he would be when he was a man. He's still that tiny, playful little boy in my head, I think. I don't know if he knew how much I loved him when he was growing up. But life goes on. I was in the garden. Things do have a habit of getting overgrown if you leave them too long. Will would occasionally send me a postcard from somewhere foreign on his travels. He wasn't in travel journalism back then. Even though I was angry, I still worried about him. Of all the damn things, I twisted my ankle when I was going to answer it. I lay there feeling like a complete idiot. Oh. I couldn't do a thing. The doorbell went again, but it hurt too much to move. I called out for help. I heard someone coming around the side of the house. Will had come to visit after coming back from travelling. After all I had done, after all I hadn't done, he was the one reaching out to me. He was the one who made the effort.
It'll be all right.
He looked after me anyway. I saw, inside the man he was, the same kind boy that I knew. I don't claim that I'll understand some of his choices.
Let's get you inside.
But inside, he really always had been the man that I wanted him to be. Kind and strong. I'd missed that, blinded by only one part of him. He was still everything I could have hoped for. He was even kind to a fool like me. I'll never forget that.